Good morning, students. Today we will start with the transportation in plants. In the previous class, we have started this topic. So, first of all, let's recap what we have studied in our last class. We studied that there are two kinds of transportation in plants: transportation of water and minerals, and transportation of food and other substances. So, plants have specialized vascular tissue for transportation of substances, which are of two types, that is, xylem vessel and phloem. Xylem transport water and minerals obtained from the soil, and it has four types of cell, that is, tracheids, xylem vessel, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Then phloem, it transports product of photosynthesis from the leaves to other parts of the plant, and it has four types of cells, that are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. And the transportation in plants is completed by two phenomena, that is, transport of water and transport of food and other substances. Okay. Now, transport of water and minerals. The water conducting elements of xylem are tracheids and vessel elements. So, the transport of water and minerals involves transpiration pull and root pressure. That is, it occurs due to the transpiration pull and root pressure. Okay. Now, the continuous flow of water through the xylem channel depend upon cohesion and adhesion. Due to this, water column does not break. Now, water molecules are absorbed into the roots through the process of osmosis, and due to the cohesion of water molecule, as one is pulled out of the stomata or used in the leaf, another takes its place. That is, water column do not break due to the cohesion force among the water molecules, and then the adhesion force between the water molecules and wall of the xylem vessels. Okay. Next, after this, all as water is being pulled up through stem, more water is forced, which is lost due to the transpiration, and hence there is a continuous flow of water through the plants. Now, absorption of water and minerals. Plant absorbs water and mineral from the soil with the help of root hair. They absorb water by the process of osmosis, where the osmosis is the transfer of solvent from the higher concentration to the lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. And diffusion is the movement of molecules of gases or liquid from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Okay, and this movement of mineral ions into root cell as a result of diffusion is called passive absorption. Okay, so the water and the minerals are absorbed by the plants from the soil, where it is present in the form of soil solution, and the main water absorbing organs are root hair, and mineral absorbing organs are the epidermal cell at root apex. Okay, so the water is absorbed actively by water potential difference between soil solution and root hair. That means water molecules move from higher water potential to lower water potential and then migrate from cell, here you can see, to cell, passing from epidermis to cortex, then from cortex to endodermis, and from endodermis to xylem vessel and tracheids. That means here water molecules are in higher water potential. More water is there. Why? Because at the root, cells are in contact with soil, which actively take up ions, and this creates a difference in the concentration of ions between the root and the soil, and therefore water moves into the root from the soil to eliminate this difference. This means that there is a steady movement of water into root xylem, creating a column of water that is steadily pushed upward. So this type of water movement is called the lateral upward movement of water. That is, the lateral upward movement of water from root to shoot of the plant, either actively or passively, is called water uptake or absorption of water. Okay. So the passage of water movement from root hair to tracheids and tracheoxylem is like this: from the soil water, then the root hairs, then the epidermis, then the cortex, then the endodermis, pericycle, and then the xylem. Okay. Now, ascent of sap. Water, the upward movement of water from roots towards the tip of stem branch and their leaf is called ascent of sap. Okay. So this occurs due to two important theories. Means there are two methods. One is root pressure theory and the other one is transpiration pull and cohesion tension theory or cohesion tension theory. Now, according to root pressure theory, root pressure developed in the xylem of the root is force exerted within roots of the plant which can raise water to a certain height. That means the root absorb water and exert a pressure, that is the root pressure, which pushes the water upward. Now the root pressure developed in the trachea and tracheids and vessels as a result of the metabolic activities of the roots. Okay. So root pressure is exerted by roots that pushes water into root system. But this is applicable in small herbaceous plant but not in tall trees. So transpiration pull and cohesion tension theory explains the upward movement of water in tall trees. So according to this theory, the main force responsible for upward movement of water is transpiration pull generated in the leaves, which pulls the water column filled in the xylem, tracheids and vessels. Okay. That means transpiration pull and cohesion theory was proposed by Dixon and Joly in 1894 and it is based on the following feature. Number 1, that is cohesive and adhesive properties of water molecule to form a continuous water column in the xylem. Now, water is lost from the leaves due to transpiration and is consumed in the process of photosynthesis. Okay. So, evaporation of water from cells of the leaf create a suction which pulls water from the xylem of the root to leaves. Thus, transpiration helps in absorption and upward movement of water and mineral dissolved in soil from roots to leaf. Okay. Now, the cells are in contact with the soil, that means cells of the roots are in close contact with soil and so actively take up ions by diffusion. So the ionic concentration increases inside the root and hence osmotic pressure increases the movement of water from soil into root, which occurs continuously. Okay, that this is how water enters continuously into root xylem. Okay. Now, transpiration pull exerted on this water column. So, we saw that the water enters from the root xylem vessel into stem xylem vessel and then the xylem vessel of the stem branch into the leaf of the plant. So, the water and minerals is carried by the xylem vessel in the stem toward the leaf. Okay, through the branch xylem vessels, okay, which enters from the leaf into each and every part of the plant. So in this way water and mineral from the soil reach through the root and stem to the leaves of the plant. Now, transpiration is the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plants. Okay. In the stem, water moves up the xylem primarily via transpiration pull, which creates a suction force which pulls water up the xylem vessels, and this suction force due to transpiration is known as transpiration pull. Okay, now the pressure at the top of the xylem vessel in the leaf is lower, whereas the pressure at the bottom of the xylem vessel remains high, and due to this water flows up to the xylem vessel into the leaves. Okay, now how this pressure at the top of the xylem vessel is reduced? So this pressure at the top of the xylem vessel is reduced due to transpiration. Okay, so the evaporation of water from the leaves of the plant is called transpiration, and the leaf of the plant have tiny pores on their surface which are called stomata. So a lot of water from the leaves keep on evaporating through this stomata. Okay, and this process is called transpiration. So since the cells of the leaf are losing water by transpiration, so water from the xylem vessel in the leaf will travel, okay, to the cells by osmosis to make up this loss of water. Okay, now thus water is continuously being taken away from the top of the xylem vessel in the leaves to supply it to the cells in the leaves, and this reduces the effective pressure at the top of the xylem vessel so that water flows up from the soil into them. Thus, the continuous evaporation of water from the cell of the leaf creates a kind of suction which pulls up water through the xylem vessels, and in this way the process of transpiration helps in the upward movement of water and dissolved material, that is minerals, from the roots to the leaf through the stem. I hope this is clear to you all. Okay, now one important thing, during daytime transpiration pull plays an important role in transportation of water in plant, and at night root pressure plays an important role in transportation of water in plants. Okay, now what is transpiration? Transpiration is the loss of water in the form of vapors from the aerial part of the plant. And what are the importance of transpiration? So transpiration performs following function for the plants. First, it helps in absorption of water and mineral from the soil. Next, it helps in the upward movement of water and dissolved material from the roots to the leaves, that is ascent of sap. Okay, then it regulates the temperature as it cools the leaves and surrounding air, and it helps in getting rid of excess of water from the plant, that is about 90% of water absorbed by the plant is lost by the transpiration. Okay, and only 1 to 2% of water absorbed is used by the plant in photosynthesis and other metabolic activities. Okay.